HR as people champion. In this presentation, we will be deliberating on this particular topic, how or what the role of HR is as a people champion. Whenever we talk about people champion, remember we are talking about human resource that is related to organization. So definitely people will relate to be or denominated as the employees hereby. So yes, let us proceed with HR as a people champion. The agenda is very simple, straightforward. We will be talking about the various challenges that HR is facing as of today, and what is the possibilities beyond HR. We will look into the futures and probably deliberate upon what exactly is the future course of action thereafter. So these are the four challenges that will be covering in today's presentations altogether. Remember, in pre-1945, from where we started as an HR as a profession, it was earlier the nomenclature was of welfare officer. It was supposedly very much in fashion to appoint a welfare officer who is going to look after the requirement, or should I say, request, needs, demand of the employees per se. The welfare officer became a labor manager, which eventually moved on to a personal department. The personal department was added up with another facility or another functions of training being added upon it, and thereafter it was rechristened in human resource management. This whole process took approximately 50-55 years of time. So pre 1945, the only most advanced organization would be talking in terms of a welfare officer, right? 1945 and prior to it. Thereafter, it was rechristened as a labor manager because they were essentially doing good things for the employees, nothing else. So that was pro managers or pro employee managers, as we would love to go about it. But then the role ambit got enhanced. Now we are talking about not as a welfare officer or a labor manager, but the whole staff that the organization employs in. And now it has been rechristened as uh, personal department till, let's say, till the 1980s or something like that, wherein an added on functions of training was being given to it. But post 1990s, this is where the paradigm shift happened, and now the shift happened in a quite faster pace. We have moved as a whole gamut of activities of performance appraisal, incentive, recruitment, selection, training, compensation, everything was amalgamated into HR management. And then when it was given a directions to a future orientation post, that at the very beginning of this particular century, it was rechristened as strategic HRM or human capital management. So what are we talking about in when we are looking at 2018, 22, 25, 28, or probably 30 onwards? Where are we evolving as far as HR evolution is concerned? This is what we are looking into it. Mind you, on the x-axis is time or duration, which has been plotted. On the y-axis is the impact on the organization. The existence of an HR as a department, existing of a HR functions, how is it impacting upon the organizational efficiencies towards it? So this is what I would love to denominate. Let us understand the drivers of change. People are central to the strategic and operational challenges thereby. You mention it or not, without employees, the organization cease to exist. Yes, definitely, yes. It is the very purpose and stuff. You know, what have been changing around it? Believe me or not, HR is going through a lot of critical issues. Absolutely. First and foremost will be VUCA. VUCA is volatile and the environment is becoming a VUCA environment. When I say VUCA environment, it's become a volatile environment. It is becoming an uncertain environment. It is becoming a complex environment. It is becoming ambiguous environment, as the case might be. So this is what we are looking into it, and whatever you profess, whatever you make it as a employee centric programs becomes nullified or gets outdated very soon, sooner than you expect. Why? Because of the technology and analytics that comes in. Now, with the advent of analytics or algorithm, we are able to understand or predict the longevity of an employee in an organization and what will be their contributions altogether. We are also looking at the cost effectiveness, probably in terms of innovations, in terms of recruitment, in terms of going for a permanent hire or a regular hire or a getting works done through a temporary hires or something like that. So this is what we are talking, that there is a shift in the organizational cultures as far as workforce is concerned, nature of work is concerned. Here we go with the drivers. We will be talking about VUCA, right? VUCA, I have been seeing around it. You look at it, and the pic that I have clarified for you to understand, it's all about anarchy. You do not know how to control such an environment. Remember, there are lightning, there are thunderstorm. How do you control it? It is what is happening in the environment, globalization. We call it of an economic or labor market, probably 24-hour pressures. You are being pressurized to keep your offices, keep your organization open for 24 hours. Why? Because you don't have customers only within the vicinity of your operations or your organization, but also is present around the globe and everywhere, somewhere down the corner, it is there is a daytime, there is a morning time, and there is an evening time happening on a regular basis. So geopolitical instabilities, the conflict, the world order challenges. Yes, we are witnessing a war between uh, one superpower and a one nation, as good as the Russia and Ukraine war that comes around it. There is societal change, let's say decline in differences, demand for transparency. Yes, with a lot of autocratic government being dismantled, a lot of people revolting around it, people way back in Europe or even in Africa per se, there are unrest even in Southeast Asia where people are demanding change, people are demanding equitable rights. We're also witnessing a acceleration of technology adoption. You know, it is the essentials of the newest generation who are very tech savvy. Now, this has forced the leaders to be adopting the technology as fast as possibly and probably strategizing their plans, their policy accordingly. Regulators struggles. Poor leadership and governance, exposed easier and quicker as the case might be. Operating in digital world demands new skill, new strategic focus, organizational models, and leadership philosophies as the case might be. Now we'll talk about people technology. What exactly is meant by people technology per se? Or the analytics. We are talking. You see, we have put in a photographs of a tab and a mobile probably. We are talking about mobile. Then there is an integration of all devices. You have an app that can be accessed from anywhere. One, because everything is stored on the cloud platforms, on the shared platforms, where they can be codified. They can be accessed by only a designated person. So it is maintaining the privacy. There is socializations, consumerized AI and automation, or artificial intelligence and automation. We are talking about cybersecurity, attitude, and system. What is the analytical revolutions? Managing information overload? Definitely, yes. We have a lot of information. In fact, we are bombarded with information every moment with the advent of the internet. So you have to make sense and informations about from the data that has been bombarded to you. So insights, not numbers, is what we are talking about it. We need to understand the pattern. We need to see the method in the madness, the ideas, the big ideas, the little ideas, the big data, the little data, and self-service game changer of the HR fellows that comes around it. So let us understand the workforce managing multiple general, and you will see it in the same offices. People are working with 60 years old and 20 years old alike, and they are equally compatible. Look at the pictures that I've shown it to you. A person who is 60 years is taking a note with a notepad and a pen. Probably that is not the case with somebody called 20 years old who is taking on a note absolutely on a ipad, or on a tab, probably Windows enabled tab or Android devices. So managing multiple generations, millenniums will take over eventually. But then, till then, diversity is the rule of the game. So changing nature of work, project, fluid structures, digital capability, numeracy. Now these are what we are talking about it. The soft skill, the collaboration, and the learning that happens in skill redundancy, needs adaptable self transformers, and gig economy as the case they say so. We have a lot of avenues nowadays to set up a business, set up a unit, and probably there are requirement, there are demand, there are audiences for any and every segment that you can take it tickle off. So cost effectiveness and innovation is the new paradigm that we go around it. We all, everybody wants to be becoming a very cost sensitive concern, cost sensitive company, cost sensitive organization. Why so? Because they are looking at value for money. It's about quality of time, quality of product, and the money that you're going there has to be a parity. Repurposing, why use us? Why work with us? People are questioning why even more frequent now than earlier. So do move with less. Probably we are looking at a lean manufacturing, agile manufacturing, shrinking back offices with the advent of the pandemic. In fact, there are certain organizations, certain company who has reverted back from work from anywhere, WFA. During the pandemic, it was work from home, WFH. Now it is from work from anywhere. You need not come to the office, or probably you need to come to the office once in a week, twice in a week, not beyond that. That means we are shrinking back offices. That means we are shrinking up the rentals. We are justifying and probably finding another alternative ways to operate upon it. Continuous change is the norm. We innovate, we reinvent, we die. Often applies to the public sector and NGOs, as the case might be to the commerce part. Yes, this is what is happening. Let us understand the leaders need help. They reshape the organization, they manage the key people as the requirement, they sustain the brand, prepare for and handle their own pressures and needs, as the case might be. Where is the critical support? How it is going around it? We are talking about HR leaders. We are talking about the finance people. We are talking about the information technology whiz kids. We are talking about the chief information officer, as the case might be. In fact, now the HR person was known as a people's manager or chief people officer, CPO, more often than not. So that is what we are looking into it. And the latest transaction thing comes around it, the nomenclature has changed into a chief transformation officer, as the case might be. Remember, we started from a labor officer or a welfare officer, as a case. The nomenclature has changed wee bit in approximately 100 odd years, or should I say less than 100 odd years. We are looking at consultancy and personal coaches thereby. So yes, managers do need help. Leaders at their level, supported, empowered, and role model. Efficiently, evidently, leaders are required at every level, be it on a people management scale, be it when we are training them or coaching them, or be it as a role model for one to understand how to behave in dire circumstances. So managers are responsible for people. Yes, we are talking about HR, human resources as people champion, right? So managers are responsible for people, not for the HR thing, but too often HR becomes self-occupied, self-obsessed, tension about who does what. It is all about fragmentation of duties, responsibilities, roles, and position that we are talking about it. Unwarranted tensions, but that is the actualities, that is the practical thing which we comes to see. So over promoting task manager, technician, bullies, and politician, selected train as people developers struggling with rigid processes, example performances and reward, as the case might be. Now under pressure, who is under pressure? HR. For last 25 years of negative reports about HR has been viewed as um, a burden on an organization. Why? Because they don't come up with anything productive. They don't make a sale, they don't make an innovation, they don't make a research, they don't make anything per se of it. Just they are there for the administration related issues. So probably people ridicule them. Obviously, yes, they are a butt of the corporate jokes per se. But the main criticism, what is it all about it? It is about the HRs being the poor strategic understanding or poor business understanding. They are number shy. They cannot show performances in numbers, the smart objective that I've been keeping on telling it to you, the prone to jargon, fashion, probably not to evidences. We might have said right from a labor officer to welfare officer to the people manager, HR manager, and the chief talent officer. Now it is chief transformational officer. It's only about nomenclature, but nothing about the it's all, there are no evidence that they actually upheld, or should I say improve the productivity. So focus is always on the individual and never on the organization. So rules and processes are fixated, never the outcomes. Technologically, we are challenged as far as HR is going. It is being pressurized. The lack of courage to challenge the bad behavior, not a function for high achievers. So, the question is, can HR transform itself? Definitely, the winds of change, talent, skills, shortages, increasingly recognized as a critical risk factor in days to come. We are talking about growing intolerance of poor leaders, poor bad managers. For example, Uber. We have Glassdoors. Now, there's a website which gives the verdicts about the employees altogether, the pay package, the work condition, the employees and the leader, the wider adoption of integrated and cloud-based self-service system, impact of social media for better or for worse. So new approaches to performances reward as the case might be, the business and HR analytics thereby. Now we have the death knell of old human resources or the old HR. Eventually they have become a passe altogether. Technology has created the tipping point. In fact, it is getting automated, or in fact all the functions of HR is getting automated. Self-service is a great game changer. It replaces the HR audit generated report, make HR admin almost redundant. In fact, now the HR department is not so huge that which we used to be approximately 30 years back. It has been shifted, it has been cut to sizes, and it has limited to a few group of people. So business managers or business processes needs to up their game altogether. We are looking at basic advice, automated and outsourced. Short term help manager gets the best out of the system, but after that, what will happen? You need to tell me. Now we are looking at specialists, the real expert of HR managers, probably on a job rotation basis. Now let us assume the three legs of HR under pressure to demonstrate the or add value. So, what are the roles and what are the purpose of HR? What is that reason for HRs are should be there? As a change expert, definitely yes. As a facilitator, definitely yes. As an organizational strategy shaper, or should I say, human resource business partner, as we call it. So, answering the critical strategic question, HR should be built in and not follow up on basis. So, you should have the culture which is to be built in altogether, and not as a monitoring process. You have to impanel as an HR department, performances and capability enabler, coaching at every level, order taker, implementer, processor managers, and prop for poor managers. Increasingly, believe me or not, HR has been increasingly replaced by technology. Now let us understand the thumbprint or the footprint of HR altogether. The next stage is to get the best of the people. This is what we have been talking about beyond HR. Now, what are we looking into it? We are not no longer interested in keeping our control over the employees, or we are not interested in, if not control, at least monitoring the employees. But what are we looking? We would love HR to play the role of an enabler, foster ideas, maximize talent. We need HR to for co-creation, for involvement, for building a sense of loyalty or building a sense of camaraderie, a trust value colleague, and not just employees who's going to give their skills, give their talent in lieu of money, salaries, and wages. So customer relationship and crowdsourcing are the methods and system that needs to be taken care of. We have to foster collaboration and network. This is to break down these silos, reward problem solving abilities, team performance, transparency then and there. This is what we are looking into it. We are looking at unwinding deep seated power and status and belief and practices and structures. What are we looking into it? We are looking for a game changer. We are breaking the old structure completely and knocking it down before coming up with a new sets of services and analytics, integrated service function. Let's say we have finance, HR, information technology. Can we integrate them under one roof? Now, this is the system of convergence, wherein how to go about it. So, convergence is the new paradigm or the play field for HR, built around internal customers' needs. Internal customers are nobody but your employees, not historical functions or silos as been done around. Historical functional silos were training and development, performance appraisal, reward management, and so on so forth. So better value services produces convenience at a lower cost. The mission is to help employees to become as productive as possible. Customer focus should be continuous improvement and utilization of smart tech to come up with viable solution. In-source and outsource are a blend of quality counts. Integrated business analytical functions that comes around it. Clear line of sight, front to center, cross function, and not about central control or sharing and learning that comes around it. So organizational effectiveness, multidisciplinary function that comes in. Experts change the performance and development. What are we looking into it? We are looking HR to become the architect of the strategies. We are looking HRs to analyze and probably design policy based upon the requirement of the organization and the environment. The coach, as a coach, you need to build the caliber of leadership, build the caliber of the normal employee, have a talent pool around, have scores of inventories of skills at all level. So organization, business, and people expert is what we are looking for. HR, reducing the needs for external consultancy, but blend internal and external expertise flexibly. This is what we should be aspiring for. That is what leaders and managers have to do to keep you on speed dial. Now, that is where we are going from transitioning the human resources to organizational efficiency. That is what we are looking into. The expert level, that is expertise that we are looking in the classic HR areas, more integrated thinking, practice across all areas, all underpinning the employer brand, the organizational development and relationship management, purchasing and supplier management skill. Let us look into combining with understanding of strategy, finance, law, marketing, operation management, information technology, etc. and etc. So structures are of three legs becoming two. So organization excellencies or expertise with the services that goes around. Now, organization expertise are drivers to the head office, design, teamwork and services, and are to be working in close coordination with strategic planning per se. This will eventually take time. It will not happen overnight. Why? Because this is threatening the traditional HR mentality of roles and power that comes around it. We are talking about functions. HR function maybe become too nervous. Managers, we are vary of more work or poor IT skills probably. Addressing years of underinvestment in people, in managers, in leadership, distinct storage of organizational expertise capability as the case might be. However, the technology is there. Remember, the technology is there. Organizational leaders will just have to demand more effectiveness, nothing else, more productivity, nothing else, reduce cost, nothing else. And you see, you have a very vibrant, very affluent organization promising good effectiveness, good efficiency. Some organizations are already edging into this space. So we need to remove the gap between high and a low performing organization, or else it might bridge, they might widen the gap altogether. So tackling this capability gap is one of the major recruitment, major policies, major issue with the HR. First and foremost thing is to recruit high performance managers, hippo managers, if you are talking about from the line employees. Retain and develop the HRBPs or the human resource business partner, the specialists out there, attracting young talent, able as a change manager. We need to look into the external expert. We need to bring in consultant. We need to understand and benchmark ourselves with the best in the industry. Transform the HR curriculum into a rigorous organizational effectiveness development path. We need to incorporate specialized MBAs. That is what we are looking into. So larger organization can use management academies. Definitely they may have professional bodies and so on and so forth. But do HR managers have what is it to transform themselves, their organization, their function? You need to answer this particular question. Now we are looking, focusing on recruitment and resourcing, nothing else. I have given a peck of a binocular for you to understand and see there is a blue sky ahead in front of you in your future. Possibilities are unlimited. In fact, that is what we are looking out here. Talent and skill needs. Talent, skill needs are drivers of organizational success and resilience. This is what we are looking forward to. We need to show about it. More of this, of soft skill, more of soft skill, more of emotional intelligence, diversity. We should have people from all background all together. Data sciences, tech savviness, learning, collaboration, orientation, cultural fit. adaptability and ability to reskill ever now and then. That is what we look forward to it. Let us also support the other trend visibly in our environment. Can we go and adapt itself for the betterment of the company and probably streamlining the process altogether? We have a lot of automation issues that have come in terms of selection, assessment, recruitment, which is basically supported by artificial intelligence. Definitely, yes. In fact, half of the recruitment process can be done by the computer themselves. You solicit advertisement and look for a filled in forms, and things will take it from there. Employee friendly policies fit to individual needs, relationship management, tech enabled, life cycle from first contract to alumni. What are we looking out here? We are looking to have boomerang workers, contingent workers, blended workforce, employer brand management is critical, onboard integrated into an onward development, more rigor, eliminate sloppy and probably disconnected practices of late. Now, the last slide for the day is four key takeaways that I want to go as an HR, as a people champion. First, artificial intelligence will transform core organizational functions. Believe me or not, the days everything will be done by the robots or the autobots that comes around it. That means they might respond for an they might promote an advertisement for recruitment. They might actually screen the responses, the resume thereby, and probably have a fundamentally pre-screening interviews which can be done by the autobots thereby before the candidates comes are on board. Similarly, this can be done in their performance appraisals also. Their key KRA, key result areas can be logged in, log note, and they can understand who is to be rated. In artificial intelligence can actually go ahead and give ratings of the employees, probably even suggest the incentives thereby. So, will you as an HR be a shaper or be shaped? What do you need to be a shaper? Ask yourself this question, and you will get the right answer, which your mind is going to tell it to you. Capability, leadership, talent, skill is critical to sustainable performance. Are you ready for that? Are you essential for that? And the last one is all about intelligence drive decision. Have you equipped your organization with the firepower to ensure that they are able to come up with sound decision as the case might be? With this four key takeaways, I come to an end for HR as a people champion. Thank you for watching this video all the way around it. I am sure this video has proven to be an eye opener for you as far as HR in the future and what is that is lying ahead in front of us. Thank you once again.